Blessing and welcome to today's Law Enforcement Daily Devotional. We're in Numbers 19 through 21, and it's been a couple of days since we've had a law enforcement takeaway, and I'm really looking for one. I'm ready for one, but today, spoiler alert, we don't see one, but hopefully tomorrow when we are in Numbers 22 through 24. But still, good life lessons and just great story. The Israelites are continuing to rebel, and we're going to see a lot of this. But we find ourselves in the last year of the 40-year journey through the desert. We're here. We're in the last year, right before the Israelites march into Canaan. So we're going to see some things that are going on. One, if you've ever been curious about the red heifer and the prophecy of that, the red heifer is mentioned here in chapter 19, verse 2, and you can read about that. There's a few more Levitical laws that God passes on about what do you do when a person dies in a tent, and how do you that makes you unclean, and how do you go through the process of being clean. So there's some rules about that. Then we go into chapter 20, and Moses' sister dies. So he's dealing with that, and then the people start grumbling and complaining again about needing water, wanting water, and God tells Moses to take the staff, go strike the rock, and give the people water. So Moses and Aaron go, and they have this exchange, and they get angry, and they strike the rock, and Moses says, "Why must we continue to deal with you? We," and it's not about we, it's God giving the water that comes from the rock. And so at that point, Moses and Aaron have sinned, and they get disciplined by God, and God says, "You two will not enter the promised land," with Caleb and Joshua. And that really hurts Moses. Moses will plead with God later on to please let him get into this promised land. He's waited all his life to get there. But God stays true to his word. The cool thing is that on the Mount of Transfiguration, when Jesus is there, we do see there's two people that appear with Jesus, Moses and Elijah, representing the law and the prophets. And so at that point, we recognize Moses finally gets into the promised land. He finally gets to see it. And so just a really cool picture that we're going to see later on in the New Testament. Don't you think how it's cool how we see so many things here in the Old Testament that point us towards the New Testament and Jesus? They all point to Christ's return or his coming. Just cool stuff. Chapter 21, Israelites rebel again. And man, in this one, I kind of get it. I kind of take offense at it, but God's provided them this manna, and we've talked about that. But they call the manna detestable and miserable food. You talk about ungrateful. And you know what? I haven't eaten the same food for 35, 40 years every single day. So I can't judge that. But God sure did. And he sent a serpent, venomous snakes, and it was kind of a plague until Moses again stops the plague and protects the people. Just a wonderful picture of Moses being the shepherd of this people constantly. Israel starts moving, and they move a lot in this last year, and we see these people groups that are afraid because Israel's got this huge army, and they're afraid Israel's going to move into their land. So they come out and attack Israel, just some unprovoked attacks. Israel wins because God protects them. But we're going to see more of that as we move forward, and especially as they start to prepare for this conquest of Canaan. So good things coming. It's going to get really exciting. Tomorrow we're in Numbers 22, 23, and 24. So come back ready to see what God has for us. And in the meantime, be safe.